Okay, today is day 990 of our adoption from Liberia. We have Jeremy making an appearance on the YouTube channel against his will because he's in the car with me. We're driving home from my birthday trip.
Woohoo!
Which we had fun at.
Yeah. Woohoo!
And we went to Goodland, Florida, which is a small area. It's not an island, but it kind of feels like an island. But it's just old school Florida. We stayed in a little single-wide mobile home thing that's been revamped.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It reminded us a lot of our fixer-upper in Tennessee that we lived in. It's like the guy that lived there before us lived there for like 60 years or something crazy. And he would fix things and add walls and add things. But it was like he was renovating a mobile home. And so a lot of the materials he would use is similar to what we would see today. There's nothing wrong with it except for it doesn't belong in that kind of house, and you shouldn't use plastic to cover electrical problems. Other than that,
Agreed.
Those materials are pretty solid. So we had fun, so we're going home to see the kids and stuff. And we're on this long, dark road. How are you feeling about our adoption, love?
I mean, not much has changed, so it's kind of refreshing. We got to see the girls on video.
Yes, on WhatsApp.
And that was nice.
That was nice. We
They
got
were
to see them.
super happy. They looked good.
They said thank you for the gifts we sent, which was good. And they couldn't hear us, but we could hear them. But the nanny in charge, Esther, she said she thought it was probably because of the weather there, that had been kind of stormy and the internet had been kind of glitchy. So she felt like maybe they would try again another day. She kind of said we'll try again tomorrow, and that was like 2 days ago. So, but tomorrow is okay. We're supposed to our hope is to talk to them maybe once a month. But the oldest specifically was like, thank you so much for what you sent. The youngest is a little bit shy. So she's like looking at the camera and waving and like hiding her face. And then we saw a lot of the other kids in the background, which was great because we know all of them. We saw little faces popping up. And it just always hits me like whenever I see those faces because so many of those kids are not matched. Some of them are. We've contacted all the families that are matched and talked to them over some a lot more than others. But we've made contact with everyone. But there are so many kids there that are still unmatched. I think there's 18 unmatched.
Black Panther sign.
So we're driving down this Florida road and there's literally like this, it looks like a lion or a tiger, or it's probably a Florida panther crossing sign on this dark road that we're on. Jeremy's nervous. So we decided that I'm going to Liberia next month. I'm going to try to go like the first week of January probably. Just going to be trying to figure out like if I'd bought my tickets a month ago, it might have been a little cheaper. I think I can get tickets there. I've got a credit for Delta to fly me back. I'll probably end up playing some type of weird layover game. But thanks to the efforts of Allison Sanders and all of our friends in Tennessee that helped, the Both Hands Project that raised over $7,500. So for one parent to go visit on a short trip, we're talking like 8 days, 9 days maybe, it's about $5,000. Just airfare there and back, and then about $1,000 to, it's about $100 a night to stay at the Tropicana, $150, kind of depends on which room I stay in and what they have available. I'm going to eat while I'm there, transportation while I'm there, and of course all the good things that I want to do while I'm there. If you have kids that are in Small World Orphanage and you want me to take something small to them, please don't go crazy. I won't mention any names, but some of you guys have sent lots of stuff before. I'm thinking like one thing, like something small, something lightweight, so that I can be fair to all the kids and all the families and not tell anyone no. I will be taking stuff to the ministries there that we support that might be in need. I'll talk to Nelson about what he needs. I'll talk to William Farr about what he needs. Those ministries need to go, but I know sometimes it's just nice to have somebody that'll take a toy. I mean, our kids like a ball of yarn because they like to crochet. But like coloring books are popular. Just little bouncy balls and soccer balls and all that are popular. But those of you that have matched kids that I know you and we've talked, if you want to send me something to take, just go ahead and get it in the mail because I'm definitely going to go. But just try not to make it too heavy because I'll find a way to take it. But I mean, I had so much weight the last time when I flew home for a brief time to try to rent out our house and flew back. I ended up just paying $100 extra at every single stop on my way back to Africa, because I had people mail me things, and I had things I wanted to take to our Liberian kids, and then I had things I wanted to bring back so we could keep our American kids happy a little bit longer. But I ended up over my weight limit, so I don't want to do that again. But it's about $5,000 every time we go, so we have $7,500 in the both hands account. So I'll go now, Jeremy will go in about 4 or 5 months, so May or June he'll go, and then we'll take turns doing that, and that's just what international parenting is going to look like. So I did like an email update on our Adopt Together yesterday, and I didn't do a YouTube video yesterday, but I think, intentional international parenting has just got to look different for us, and we've got to develop a way to do it. Small World's been kind enough to offer the monthly WhatsApp calls, but that's not enough for our kids, just because we have met them and we feel like we owe them more than that, and we feel like we can reach more than that. If your family can travel, at least one of you can go and visit your kids, you need to do that. If there's any way possible, do some fundraising. If you need ideas for fundraising, let me know. If it's at all possible for you to visit them in person, it changes things for them. And then there's people that would make the argument like, what if it doesn't work out? And what if these adoptions never resume? And what if these kids end up in this country forever? So they had Americans that flew across the world because they loved them so much and valued them so much that they wanted to meet them regardless of whether or not they thought that the adoption would finish, because that's what intentional international parenting is. So be it. It's kind of like if you're pregnant and you're excited about that baby and you love that baby and you get excited about it, but then you miscarry. Does that mean that the first 3 or 4 months or however long you were able to parent that child in utero were a loss or not worth it? So just give that some thought. I know some of you can't travel no matter what. It wouldn't matter if I gave you $10,000, you couldn't travel. And I get that. And I understand that, but some of you can. And so I just want to encourage you, if you need a safe route, you can go when I go. But if you need a safe route or you need travel guides, we can help you with that. So just don't be scared to go. And don't let anything steal the joy of being their parents today. Because as we've all learned, like, days are numbered. And I think all of us that have been in this international parenting delay with this adoption specifically, we have certainly, those of us that already have children under our roof, we have certainly learned the value of each day we have with them, more so than I think you could ever understand without going through this process. So, when you say? Absolutely. Like, I feel like we value our time more with our American-born kids than we would have otherwise. And I don't think we were like devaluing time with them. I just don't think the gravity of it. I don't think we treasured it quite as much as we do now. It's a big deal. So, well, one of the things in my my update yesterday of the written word without video was that regardless of the governments on both sides that are not doing what they need to do, regardless of them, I still have to do what I need to do, and I have to change what it looks like. It has to be more creative. It has to be a little outside the box. I'm open to all ideas that you guys have. I may dabble in shipping with the U.S. Post Office, because the U.S. Post Office technically will deliver to Liberia, but we've been told not to send anything through anywhere but FedEx because it will not arrive. And so I might do a little test of that, because you can send stuff a lot cheaper through the U.S. Postal Service, and we're not sending things that are super sentimental. So we may do a little treasure hunt there and see how that works out. But I'm not going to be, my ability to connect with the children that have been assigned to me, regardless of the completion of their adoption, is not going to be limited by everybody else not doing their job. Can I get my ideal right now? Absolutely not. I don't even think we'll have our kids home the next 6 months. I think if our kids are home before July 1st, that I would be shocked. So I'm going to plan on that, because that's just real life. I mean, we know that our agency is working on our behalf. We know that there's legal authorities working on our behalf. We know that all the people that wrote congressional letters on behalf of our children, our family, and our adoption, and all of the Liberian adoptions across the country, we have seen a change in the U.S. Embassy. We have seen a change in the U.S. State Department's responses. We haven't seen anything complete, but we haven't seen anything get worse. So I think that all of that matters, but we're just going to continue to push on. And if all we can do is one of us visit our kids every 4 or 5 months just to give them a hug and be like, we're not giving up on you. We're going to get you home. But in the meantime, how was your day today? What happened today? What's happening this week? What did you learn in school? Who's your best friend today? What's your favorite color today? Have you changed what you want to be when you grow up? Have you considered the fact that we are going to make sure that you grow up and you'll get to be something when you're a grown up? What do you want to be? Like, these are conversations that if I have to fly to the other side of the world to have them, so be it. And shame on every government official and every congressional leadership and every single person that did nothing to prevent this delay. Because by doing nothing, you are making it worse. And if you're just a normal adult and you're just watching this video for whatever reason, when I say normal adult, like, you're not traipsing across to the other side of the world. Maybe you support it, but you're not doing it. And you haven't written to your congressional leadership about our family and you need a template to do so, I'll give you the template to do it. It's really easy. I know I've been getting emails about advocating for China families. Every single time I get an email, I sign the petition and I send the email, I send the letters. Because our voices as Americans matter more than you think. But, I mean, shame on all the people that have gotten in the way. The evil forces that try to make things worse are sometimes just complacency and ambivalence. Sometimes they're mean. Sometimes they're child traffickers and human traffickers and child slavery networking. Sometimes they're people that abuse things and pedophiles and all these people that are the worst of the worst, that have fallen so far from humanity's normal, happy functioning status that we don't even recognize them and cannot relate to them. And they are on road to destruction. But that's the minority. The people that keep these evil systems delaying and keep people in power that are not making the right decisions and allow countries like Liberia to continue to struggle. Kids die in Liberia every day exponentially. Like, this is not like every now and then. Your chance of making it to your 5th birthday in the United States is 94% or higher. Your chance of making it to your 5th birthday in Liberia used to be 20%. And now I think it's up to 45. So, like, people that are not taking action are the worst ones. People that are sitting at their desks and not doing their job just by delay, just not wanting to face it, not wanting to look at it. Not like the U.S. ambassadors in Liberia, the woman that's not there anymore, that refused to meet with me, that refused to talk to me, refused to advocate for us. I'm a U.S. citizen. Your job is to be an ambassador. You can sit down in front of me and tell me I can't do anything, or I disagree with you adopting if you want to, but you have to face me. It is your job to face us and to discuss with us the issues that we have in the country that you're an ambassador. It is your absolute job. It is in your job description. So people that, she's not there now, and we've heard that the people that are there to replace her are doing their job, are listening to Americans. They are facilitating adoptions where they can. But, I mean, people in Liberia, governmental officials in Liberia, that all they have to do is sign one sheet of paper so that adoptions can resume. You're going to hold that pen for how long? You've been holding that pen for over a year. Over a year. I want to know how many children have died in Liberia in the last year. And I want to know what Jesus thinks of you. Because I'm pretty sure he's shaking his head. You should be disgusted with yourself. The person that could be signing that piece of paper that's holding that pen. You should be disgusted with yourself. And you should be ashamed with yourself for not being able to sit down and meet with me either. Or refusing to meet with me as well. Or refusing to meet with Liberian officials. Just sitting on it. Can't sign it today. Can't sign it tomorrow. Can't give a reason why. So, I don't know. But my strength of parenting and my commitment to these kids has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what I can do to make it the best that I can make it today. Just as if, even if my kids had cancer and they needed chemotherapy today, I would not just bow out and be like, well, I don't have time to drive there. I would move heaven and earth to drive wherever they needed to be, or move mountains to whatever they needed to get them the treatment that they needed to survive. And my kids living in Africa right now, away from me, need me to visit. And the only realistic cost that we can do is $5,000 a trip. And right now we have enough for a trip and a half. So if you want to help, we're fundraising again. Unfortunately, we're fundraising again. And maybe nobody helps us this time. Maybe people are tired of helping us. I don't think people are tired of helping us. Jeremy sometimes thinks people are tired of helping us. Jeremy is definitely done asking for help. Because it's exhausting.
Let's go rob some banks.
Don't rob any banks.
Just kidding.
Don't rob any banks.
I mean, maybe we can reach out to Elon. Elon likes kids. He's got like 10 of them. Maybe
Yeah, Elon. I don't know. I guess I've been really depressed over the last 3 months. I really don't know what to do, and I've just been waiting on something to fall from the sky and solve this problem. And instead of doing that anymore, it did say Panther Frosting.
Nice.
Instead of doing that anymore, I've just decided I'm just going to take matters in my own hands. I'm going to spend $5,000 every 4 months. I'm going to give my kids a hug and tell them, you know what? For today, I'm your mom. For tomorrow, I'm your mom. I may live on the other side of the world. That is not going to stop me from doing my best. And honestly, if we had better communication with them virtually or internet-wise, like if we could actually talk to them like once a week, I wouldn't feel as convicted about getting on a plane. But all they can do is see my face and see my mouth moving, and they can't see me. They can't hug me. They can't talk to me. I mean, it took her 15 minutes on the weird Zoom call where there's no sound on my end. It took us a while to even figure out that was happening. Just to say thank you for the gifts you sent, which was probably burning on her mind the whole time. As soon as she knew she was going to talk to me, this is what she wanted to say. Thank you for sending 2 Barbie dolls and 2 crochet sets. Thank you for sending. Thank you for knowing me enough to send the things that you know that I like. So, again, a challenge to matched families. I'm not trying to shame you into visiting them. I'm trying to give you the confidence that you need to parent intentionally and internationally. And I will help you. Do it. But be willing to do it. Be willing to be all in, because you're not going to be sorry. You go bond with those kids. I'm bonded with all of your kids, and they're fantastic kids. I mean, they're just fun to play with, you know? Like, I knew some of the days at the orphanage we were like, oh dear, we've gotten mobbed again. But I knew that I would miss them, and I do. I miss them. And like when Jeremy left, we always knew that I would go back and go back soon no matter what. But Jeremy was like, you know, if their adoption completes and you're the one that goes back to get them, I may never see any of these kids again. Right?
Yep.
Was that hard for you to say goodbye to them?
It was. And one thing I was thinking about too, if you think about like how even inmates, how they talk about how insanely boring and repetitive the days are. Think about in prison. Yeah, in prison. Think about a kid in an orphanage. Their day-to-day is the exact same thing, and having us show up to visit is a complete break in that day-to-day.
Oh, it stimulates their brains to think about the future and think about things that are outside. And they're in a safe, protected place. There's just not a lot for them to do. You know?
There's nothing to do.
No.
Now, there may be a jump rope that's half broken, or a soccer ball that's maybe...
Well, 36 kids, they break things. They don't do it on purpose. It's just wear and tear.
For sure, yeah. There's a TV.
But just them drawing pictures, you know?
There's just not a lot to do.
The thing that got me the most about the drawing of the pictures, and I looked through a few of them this week, just trying to remember those kids, you know, and I sent them all the pictures that they did, especially the unmatched kids. I sent them all to Jimbo at Small World so he could use them to help people connect, you know, even some of the fundraising people to connect with some of their drawings. Not their face pictures, but like their thoughts and their artistic abilities. It's just so great to see. But the thing that got me the most is some of the unmatched kids wrote letters to parents that they don't have yet. And they know that they don't have parents. Like, the kids know for sure who's matched and who's not. And they're excited for each other. Like, the kids that are unmatched know that my children are matched, and they're pumped for them. They're like, yes, you got family. You got a family. And we don't know why some kids end up on a waiting list and some don't. Some you hear more about, some you know, because there's 18 there that are unmatched, 18 to 20 that are unmatched. One of the teenagers did age out. So there was 20 unmatched. I think there's 19. There's one more teenager that'll age out. But they're doing good. They're going to school. They're looking out for them. They'll pursue after high school education, and they're going to be fine. But aging out's a real thing. Once you turn 16 in Liberia, you're not adoptable anymore. So anyways, back to the whole unmatched. Just the drawings. Like, kids would draw pictures of their future family, what they imagine their parents would be, and write letters and say. And they know for sure their parents don't know who their parents are, but they believe that they exist. They believe that their kids are coming. I mean, they believe that their parents are coming because they've seen other kids get parents. So, to all you unmatched parents out there, stay in it. You're going to be fine. And to all of you that are matched, look, if you can get on a plane, get on a plane. It's important. And if I didn't pressure you to get on a plane and go visit your kids, I would be betraying your kids, my friendship with them. because the reason I'm friends with them is because you chose to adopt them, and I know it's hard, but I think any of us that have gone and visited our kids can tell you it's worth it. It's worth every penny. So fundraise $5,000, get on a plane and go visit your kids, and I'll help you do it in a safe way that doesn't put your life at risk. Don't you think?
Yes.
How big of a deal do you think it is for matched families to just show up in Liberia and live there for just a few days and meet their kids and hug them and get to know them? Like, how important do you think it is? Set the money aside. Like, most people can fundraise $5,000 if you think about it. It's not that hard.
No, I think it's very important to cultivate those relationships. And you really don't have another avenue to do it.
Do you think it hurt our kids that we went and left? No. Did you think it might?
I think it.
Because we didn't plan on leaving them.
I had those fears of leaving them.
Like, we didn't plan on leaving them. We did not plan. We literally ran out of money and we had to leave.
Yeah.
But we did not plan on leaving.
We went to the finish line.
We did. We spent a lot. We spent all our fundraising money, all of our personal money, dug into our roof money, all of our life savings, our retirement accounts. We dug it into all of it. And we're not asking you guys to do that or suggesting that. But most of you, between $3,500 and $5,000, you can travel to Liberia and back and visit your kids. But what do you think the impact, like, what do you think about, like, even, so, like, Carrie and Sam were there, too, and got to bond with their kids and meet their kids, too, right?
Correct.
How big of a deal do you think it is to, like, Sam and Carrie's kids and our kids, both American and Liberian, that they've all met as siblings already?
I mean, I think it's huge. It's very beneficial.
Like, do you think that the reality that they're being adopted is, like, better? You think it's different? Because, like, the kids that are there that haven't met their families yet, maybe seen a few videos, maybe seen a few pictures, but those kids, like, are they different than ours? Do you think that our kids have a more confident permanency idea than the kids that haven't met their families yet? Like, do you think that they gained something from us going that they didn't have before?
Walking a little taller.
Not just walking a little taller, but just more secure in their future.
Yeah.
Because that lack of permanency, I think, is what drives most kids crazy. When they don't gain weight, they lose. I mean, they lose things. They don't emotionally develop. They're shorter. And then they get in their permanent home and things just change.
Yeah, I mean, my hope is that since we've bonded with them for a long period of time, which isn't practical for most people, but a weekly visit would be, that when you do get to bring them home, you've already had that relationship established, and you've not just met them and then you bring them home. I think that could be scary. Like, if you've met them prior, maybe a little bit easier.
Do you think it's better for everybody to go maybe once and come back home before they make a final?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I know that sometimes that's not practical, but again, we're still talking about $5,000, and in the grand scheme of things, any of you guys that are still in this process, whether you're matched or unmatched, you've spent well more than $5,000. If you haven't done a both hands project, that one, we didn't do anything. Our friends in Tennessee did it. We didn't touch it at all. We did like a 90 second video the day of.
Well, we called. Well, the first meeting was.
Well, we cried our eyes out, and then Allison just took over and did it for us.
Literally just left our kids in Liberia that were leaving like that following weekend.
We decided to leave.
And we told them what was happening, and then we had to be on that call. That was pretty difficult.
Well, but Allison did it for us. So, like, all of you guys, I mean, Allison is an excellent friend to me.
Yes, for sure.
And she's not even a friend I talk to all the time. She's a friend that shares the love that Jesus has for orphans is deep in her soul, the same way it is in mine. And she's like, I can't not act. Like, I can't not act. And that's the thing, is she's like, now that I know what you're facing, I've watched your YouTube videos, I've read your story, I know you. Now that I know what you're facing, how can I can't not do something. So another thing that Allison does for us still is she collects textiles for the Fill the Box. And Fill the Box truck shows up at her house every couple weeks. And then about $150 floats into our Adopt Together account from her just collecting clothes and shoes and things people would donate to Goodwill and just sticking it in our adoption account for us. She's done that several times. So it's literally like once a month or sometimes twice a month. We just get like, we'll see this like blip, like another $100, another $100. So we're paying $500 in pre-adoptive care. And we're having to renew all of our home study stuff too. So there's that. So anyways, I don't want to pressure I don't want to pressure matched families to spend a lot of money and go travel. But I also want to speak for your children when I say it would be important for them, it would benefit them, and it would make a difference in their life long term, and their trust in you as their permanent caregiver, and their overall hope as life comes at them to meet you. And if the adoptions fall through and nobody finishes their adoption, which is always a possibility in international adoption, we all enter into it with that stipulation. At least they met you once, and they know that you love them, and they know how important and valuable they are, not just to you, but to God. So, because, most people, I don't know anybody that has done international adoption that hasn't felt called or inspired by God's love to do that. So, display that. And honestly, I think the more that the Liberian government officials see Americans coming in and out of their airports, in and out of their grocery stores, in and out of their office buildings, in and out, the more they see us, the more inspired they are to play on our team, because they like Americans in Liberia. We're very well liked there, but there needs to be more of us. Instead of the U.S. State Department who's constantly looking for trafficking where trafficking doesn't exist. The U.S. State Department, I can tell them where trafficking exists. We all can, but it's not in these orphanages. It doesn't make sense to do it there. It doesn't make, the traffickers are not stupid. They're not going to do it there. But the more that we have, as Americans and as parents, just say, whether or not you do your job, I'm going to do everything I can to connect with my kid. Get on a plane. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not asking you to do anything I haven't done or wouldn't do. And I'm not saying you should stay for 5 months. That was our decision. That was, and we don't regret it, not even a little bit. It was a great thing to do, and we would do it again. We just have to have money again. But, anybody wants to donate to our adoption, we welcome it, and we are extremely grateful for it. But we are not going to be governed, influenced, or paralyzed by government officials who refuse to maintain the integrity of their profession. Period. And that's just what we're not going to do.
Amen, love.
Do you know what I said?
Yep.
What?
We're not going to let the man hold us down.
We're not going to let the man hold us down.
That's right.
Did you like my integrity of the profession?
They have none, but I like what you said.
Integrity of your profession. That means go read your job description that you need to do to get your paycheck, and do that job description, or you will not get your paycheck. This is the American way. So, anyways, all right, I say all that with love. Please, and here's another thing too. So let's just throw it out there that you're an unmatched person. Like, you're an unmatched waiting family. You've not been matched with any kids yet. I don't think that it would be wrong or outside the lines for you to, I would support you in emailing our agency and asking if you can do a humanitarian, because basically my trip is a humanitarian aid trip. It's not necessarily adoption related, but it's orphan care. Because when I go, I'm going to be making donations to the orphanage. I'm going to be making donations to different, I'm going to be taking tons of supplies. So it's a humanitarian aid trip. Okay? So, like, if you are unmatched, you're not going to get matched if you go. Like, we don't know when you're going to get matched. It could be a year. It could be 6 months. It could be 3 months. It could be 2 years. And I get that that's hard. But you could ask, can I join Rachel on a humanitarian aid mission trip to Liberia? Can I have your permission to enter the orphanage and do humanitarian aid with her while she's there? And I will take you. Because you may not meet your kid. You may not be matched with a kid that's there. Your kid may not even be there yet. But you can be a part of the solution. And more than likely your kid is there. But you won't get to know who they are. Nobody can get matched just because they go visit. But a humanitarian aid mission trip is something that you can ask for. And I doubt it's something that he'll say no to. Because right now, they'll take all the help they can get. And I would imagine that the other 2 orphanages are the same. that are involved in this. So, humanitarian aid. Do you have anything to add?
I don't.
I'm kind of fired up today.
You're doing great.
Are you fired up? Are you excited?
Yes.
What are you excited about?
I'm excited to see our kids.
Which ones?
All of them.
All of them. How many kids do we have?
5.
Oh, okay. 5. He said, 5. And 2 dogs. Do you miss the puppy?
And a partridge and a parrot.
I know that you kind of miss Zeke. But do you miss Axel, the puppy?
Sure, yeah.
What did you want to tell the people what Axel did in his crate on the one morning you got to sleep in?
This little guy.
So first of all, you got to say about, this is a side note, so if you want to turn it off and you don't want to hear about Axel, that's fine. I'm done talking about adoption. This is just Jeremy's life.
Yeah.
So Axel is who?
He is the muddiest of all mutts.
No, yes, he's the muddiest of all mutts, and he's our mutt, and he's about 7-8 months old now. We found him about a month and a half.
It's like 16 breeds.
It's a pound puppy, 15 breeds.
15, okay.
Yeah.
What about him?
Okay, so Axel is still a puppy, so potty training and house training is still kind of a work in progress. He does okay, but he's kind of a timid, like he just hasn't been really exposed to life at all. Like, he was a puppy, and then he was in a box at a Walmart, and then he ended up in a shelter right after that, and then he was just a shelter dog where they're basically alone 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day. And so he did that for 6 months, and now he lives at our house. So he's not been exposed to much, so he's kind of timid. So he's doing okay with the house training, but every morning Jeremy wakes up at 8:30 and goes and gets Axel. He leaves Zeke. Axel and Zeke sleep in crates in the girls' bedroom. They tuck them in as a whole thing. So every morning at 8:30, Jeremy gets up. Him and Axel go downstairs. You get Zeke?
Not always. Sometimes.
Not always. Unless Zeke's like awake. Usually Zeke continues to snooze. Zeke's our 80-pound, 5-year-old blue tick coonhound. And he just lays there. He'll sleep till noon, and he won't bother you, and he won't. But every morning, Axel does this, and he goes out, and he goes to the bathroom, and then he sits in Jeremy's office area while Jeremy works for about an hour, and then the girls wake up about an hour later. And then Zeke comes down, and then the whole day starts. So it's Jeremy's alone time where he has his coffee, and he has his dog by him, right? It's a magical time.
It really is.
So Jeremy took off this whole Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He took off work, so he didn't have to wake up on Wednesday morning. So we stayed up late Tuesday night, and you wanted to sleep till what, 10?
10 o'clock.
And it's my birthday week, so I'm the princess, right?
Yes.
So I don't have to do anything awful.
I know.
So what happened?
So my youngest child comes in and says, Dad, Axel pooped in his crate. Ugh.
And it's really stinky.
So I rallied my kids to help me.
Like, he pooped, and then he stepped in it, and then it was on his feet.
It was everywhere. So I had to.
But not the carpet, right?
Not the carpet. I had to carry him to the bathtub.
Which he's had one bath before, but it was outside.
And I let the girls give him a bath, which they were so helpful.
So what did you tell the youngest one she had to do?
I had to put. He jumped out of the tub.
He didn't like the tub.
We kept the door shut so he wouldn't go running through the carpet. But then I was like, listen, youngest, you need to. I did the noose around the neck thing with the leash, and I said, you need to hold him.
The noose around the neck.
That sounds bad.
Like a choke, baited a choker.
Yeah. Like, look, you need to get in the bathtub and hold him. That's your job.
She was already soaked, I'm sure.
Yeah, they were still in their PJs.
So our 8-year-old was holding the dog.
Yeah.
And the other 2 washed him.
And
Did our oldest get involved?
They finished washing him. They were just trying to rinse him when he jumped out. So
oh gosh.
they had to finish the rinsing process.
This is why you were dealing with the poo?
Well, yeah. So I had to stop the poo activity, the cleaning.
To get the escape soapy up dog.
I mean, when you clean up poo, you got to get everything you need immediately. So I had a bag, I had my paper towels, my sprayer. You know, I'm ready to go.
Well, it's funny though, is I was like, do you need me for this? He's like, no, you can go back to bed. It's birthday week. Begrudgingly.
I mean, that should like absolve me of any wrongdoing.
Absolution. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it should.
It really should.
But it was so sad because Axel's gotten so used to him and Jeremy's routine, and we just messed with it about an hour, and he just didn't do well. I mean, that's the first big accident, though. He pees every now and then.
Which is okay, because we just washed the blankets.
He doesn't do that often, right?
No. But the pooping was new. I was like, oh, that's fun.
He just got in a rhythm, and you messed with his rhythm.
I know.
So, if any of you guys don't know Jeremy, this is what's hysterical about Axel, because we had this old lab that I talked Jeremy in. I pretty much gave Jeremy, I don't know how I talked Jeremy into our black lab. I mean, I think I cried, and and asked for him. Because we didn't have any kids, and I just really wanted another dog. And I wasn't trying to be manipulative. I was earnestly, tearfully wanting this dog, and he didn't tell me no. He did say yes, actually. And eventually he liked Rocky, because Rocky was eventually a glorified stuffed animal. But Rocky was a lot of work before that. And then we had 2 dogs and 3 kids in diapers, and it was hard. But Jeremy's just never been a dog person. Like, never been a dog person. So the fact that he loves Axel and, like, gets him up early and has their little buddy time and, like, cuddles with Axel on the couch and talks to him like he's a little baby. Hi, buddy. It's hysterical. The girls talk in high-pitched tones to Axel. But Jeremy does, too. He's like, how's my buddy doing? It's hysterical. So if you know Jeremy and you know how he's not so much a dog person. Like, our neighbors across the street, they'll have a dog issue, and they know that, like, my work hours are weird and Jeremy's always home, and they know that Jeremy will help with their dogs, but they know that I'm going to go help with their dogs and enjoy it, while Jeremy's going to do it kind of, like, out of friendship duty. You know, it's not like something that was, like, whereas I'm like, oh, no problem, I'd love to do it. So, everybody that knows Jeremy knows he's not a dog person, but he's gone through a transformation.
I have.
Yeah, now he's a dog person.
I feel like a Grinch in his heart. My heart grew 3 times.
Yeah, your heart grew 3 times because you're the Grinch, yeah.
Yes.
The girls love him too, but he's our first puppy. Because normally I don't get a dog under a year old because I don't want to clean up poo. But he's doing good. But our older dog, our 5-year-old dog that we've had for about a year and a half now, he is a model citizen compared to the puppy. So it's a good thing, because I don't really think Jeremy liked him very much either. You like him now?
For sure.
For sure. All right, that's all we have. This is a long video. It's helpful when Jeremy's there. Bye, friends.